Hi, we are opening up the material for week 5, which will cover chapter 4 of the textbook. I'd like to talk about the results of the midterm for a moment. Most results are very good, many A's and B's, and no failures. If you did not do as well as you would have liked, there's still an opportunity to improve if you do well with the rest of the material, especially the final. On to the course. In Chapter 1, we got an overview of computer networks. We saw that there are two perspectives of the Internet. One perspective is that the Internet provides an infrastructure of support for applications. This is the view we studied in Chapters 2 and 3. In Chapter 2, we examined the application layer and how it works with 5 different applications. In Chapter 3, we looked at the transport layer. The transport layer's role is to provide communication services to the application processes running on different hosts. So now we're in the last half of the class, where we'll turn our attention to the second perspective of the Internet, the nuts and bolts details. During the next 2 weeks, we'll delve into the network layer. This is the network's core. The network's layer's job appears simple. Just move packets from the sending host to the receiving host. But this layer is probably the most complex of the entire protocol stack. To do this work, the network layer has 2 primary functions, forwarding and routing. We'll see how separating these functions allows the network layer to be decomposed into 2 interacting parts, the data plane and the control plane. This week, we will study the data plane. Next week, in Chapter 5, we'll look at the control plane details, including routing protocols and routing algorithms. After these next 2 weeks, we'll be in the home stretch, and we will cover the link layer, followed by security and computer networks. So, what are our goals for this week? We first will gain an understanding of the differences between the forwarding and routing functions. We will look inside the router and get an understanding of the methods and technologies used to get the packets flowing through the network. We will examine the IP version 4 packet formats as well as network addressing. We will be introduced to generalized forwarding, a new paradigm of network layer implementation where the data plane and control plane functions are realized in separate systems. This is called software-defined networking. We will then look at how IP version 6 differs from IP version 4. Finally, we'll also examine 2 protocols used in network addressing, DHCP and NAT. Just a few more comments about this chapter and the next. First, in the videos, I refer to IP datagrams and packets interchangeably, probably using the term packets more frequently. Now, note that this is the term I have used throughout my career. There is some inconsistency in the industry on how to refer to these network layer protocol data units. However, the textbook is very consistent in using the term IP datagrams. We will try to be as consistent using the term IP datagrams in all the quizzes and tests. We have added a Joe James video on IP version 6 addressing as part of the course because the textbook is rather sparse on this. We believe this is important as you will see more widespread use of IP version 6 early in your careers. And in case you have problems understanding some of the material we have provided, supplemental links under optional additional resources are an iLearn. Finally, some of you have expressed a desire for more labs. So this week and next, there are 2 optional MiniNet Labs using Oracle VirtualBox and the MiniNet Virtual Machine for extra credit. These labs are used as part of the on-campus CST 311 class. But we are being very cautious about introducing them in an 8-week class. We have heard that some students had problems installing and configuring the software required for the lab. To assist you, there are links to Professor McCann's videos on the installation of this software. Please provide us with feedback whether you would recommend integrating these MiniNet Labs into this course, even if it means reducing the number of Wireshark labs. Thanks, and welcome to the second half of the course.